Actually, SIMalliance plays a big role coming from the past. We have more or less in the last 25 years accompanied the oil industry heavily in the hardware-based device security. And our members have been driving massively the evolution of eSIM as the hardware token itself, but also as with regards to the process landscape, which is, I think, even as important as the device itself. Well, I think this is really a very exciting event. Imagine the topics like low power wide area networks, IoT massively coming up, not only in automotive. You see the wearables coming in, you see all kinds of these things. And in parallel, by the way, whilst we are here, standardization of 5G is going on. And we will see an unprecedented amount of devices coming to the market that needs to be somehow secured. And therefore, I think it's the right time and the right place to do this event. There's a lot of different terms for eSIM. Actually, you could also say technically more correct EUICC. This is more or less really an isolated tamper-resistant hardware module that is built into a device or plugged into a device. But it's bringing its own processing and storage power, and so you have really true isolation of the rest of the device's resources, which is, due to architectural reason, really giving you a higher security level than if you have a software realization done. And SoftSIM on the other side is exactly this. You have a software that is doing the job of a SIM, but it's using the same resources on the storage side as well as on the processing side, like the other applications on the device. And therefore, it's a very, very high danger that you get fraud and attacks from these levels. Well, the coming years, that's a good term. I would say we will see a fairly hybrid thing happening in the next 5 to 10 years still. We have heard also during the panel discussion today that people anticipate more things to come with eSIM than without eSIM in the next, let's say, 7 to 10 years. And I would say there's kind of stepwise evolution. So we will see for quite some time a hybrid model that is having an eSIM and maybe also a slot for having a plug SIM built into the devices. And then on the other side, there will be slowly but surely phase out of plug SIM. But this is, I think, something that will happen soonest in the next 7 to 10 years. Well, actually, as mentioned, the setup of the eSIM is not that different. It's just that it's built into the device right from the beginning, or it's plugged in the factory in the device. But I would say the majority of devices will come to the market in the range of 7 to 10 years. Well, SIMConnect next year will be, I think, a very good continuation of this year's event. This year's event has already perceived and received a lot of traction. I think I was very positively surprised when I saw such an amount of operators joining the sessions. But I think the interest is there, and there's a lot of decisions to be taken exactly in the next 300 to 600 days. So I would expect that even next year, coming closer to the LPWA topic, that has to be somehow built in, and all the other IoT and M2M things just before 5G growing will be another good event to happen.